Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Larry Farber, and let's queer up South Florida and Florida. Attorney General threatens a South Florida gym for allowing men posing as women in locker room. Florida officials are once again drawing fire from the LGBTQ community, this time for pressuring a private gym owner over its inclusive locker room policy. Attorney General James Uthmeier, recently appointed by Governor Ron DeSantis, sent a threatening letter to Lifetime Fitness in Palm Beach Gardens for allowing transgender members to use facilities that align with their gender identity. In the letter, Uthmeier claimed that this policy, quote, harms and endangers, end quote, women who use private facilities at the gym, and accused the gym of, quote, letting men posing as women, end quote, use women's locker rooms. What's missing from Uthmeier's letter is any actual Florida law that applies. And I think that that's very important to let that sink in. The 2023 Florida bathroom law, designed by DeSantis as part of a so-called, quote, slate of hate, end quote, only governs public buildings like schools, prisons, and the state capitol. It does not apply to private businesses like Lifetime, Palm Beach County, where the gym is located. Also, it has a human rights ordinance protecting gender identity. However, Uthmeier has dismissed that, claiming it doesn't apply because it lacks specific bathroom language.
I'm Attorney General James Uthmeier. Recently, my office became aware of a complaint against Lifetime Fitness in Palm Beach Gardens, putting women and girls at risk. Instead of following Florida's Civil Rights Act, they've decided to let men into women's locker rooms. That is wrong, and we are not going to stand for it. Let me be clear. Florida law protects spaces designated for women. No local ordinance or woke corporate policy can override that. Lifetime Fitness tried to hide behind a misread county code, but the law is crystal clear. And so is my message. Men do not belong in women's restrooms or locker rooms, period. Across the country, we've seen what happens when businesses ignore biology and common sense and bend to the trans activist agenda. We see assaults, exploitation, and fear. No business is going to be allowed to facilitate the invasion of women's restrooms and locker rooms, not in Florida. Just as we are taking the fight to social media corporations for facilitating the exploitation of children, we will defend the safety, privacy, and dignity of women and girls. If Lifetime Fitness does not immediately reverse this dangerous policy, my office will take swift legal action. Florida is a law and order state, and we will not back down from the fight to keep this state safe, strong, and free.
The Florida Civil Rights Act of 1992 bans discrimination, quote, because of race, color, religion, sex, pregnancy, national origin, age, handicap, or marital status, end quote, and calls for the state to, quote, protect the interest in personal dignity, end quote. But it does not mention the bathroom use or changing facilities or even gender identity. On the other hand, a 2021 agency interpretation says Florida does protect gender identity in housing, employment, and public accommodations. Despite this legal reality, Lifetime Fitness seems to have backed down. The company told radio station WJNO that Palm Beach Gardens location will now follow Uthmeier's directive, though they say they remain committed to welcoming all members. For LGBTQ Floridians, this is just another case of fear over facts and rights being trampled under political pressure. What's very disappointing, especially in I think a more educated part of Florida, and we have a political figure like this, making these accusations. I mean, certainly if you identify and you carry out the behaviors that are expected socially, you should be respected to use the facility you identify with,
right.
End quote. We have crazy people who may run for governor like Matt Gaetz, and you look at all this other nonsense going on, and then this guy, has the nerve, Uthmeier has the nerve to start just, turning tables over and intimidating small business owners.
And just lie blatantly on camera and make it sound like a truth, talking about what assaults, what have happened. If anything, I'm only seeing the reports of cisgendered women who are being attacked while trying to go to the bathroom because they look too masculine. Now people are assuming, and now we're attacking the people who you are trying to protect.
Yes.
But that's the point of this whole story, that the clip that we have of the Attorney General does not identify the person as either a man or a transgendered woman. So I'm confused as to what this is about. Second of all, there's no police report. There have been no crimes that I've been made aware of. There's no stories saying that anyone was attacked within the facilities of this particular gym. I'm confused as to what this is about, other than just a bunch of red meat being thrown to the Republican base here in Florida.
Right. I mean, if you tell a lie enough, it becomes the truth. That's their story. And I mean, did he not look like he wanted to be pissed on at IML this weekend in Chicago with that beard? And you know that there's a fucking harness under that suit. He looked like the biggest leather queen I have ever seen.
Yes.
Come on to my house. I'm gladly
We're
pissed
doing
on you.
good though with the seriousness.
We almost got there. Yeah, but no, like even this morning I saw one. There was this lady, I guess after her niece's school recital, she took her niece to McDonald's, and on the way to the bathroom at McDonald's, they assaulted her because she looked too butch, and they assumed that she was a trans woman.
Who assaulted her? Just the customers or the staff?
It didn't go into great detail.
God.
But yeah, of course. So now here's an example. You're talking about assaults are happening, but not the way they're claiming.
No.
It's not us. It's not the trans community. It's not the gay community. It's that crazy side of people who want to come in and make an excuse. So
And truly, if a trans person who presented as female went into a male locker room,
Right.
can you imagine the result? The ramifications and the results of
Right.
that. And the same way, on the other side, if a male trans went into
So
insanity.
I'm going to make this suggestion, and it's not going to be a popular one, and it's only because of the current political situation we're dealing with. I implore anyone, trans especially, you know where your environment is. Please use the facilities as little as possible. Go in, work out, be as pretty as you want, be as sloppy, sweaty as you want.
safe.
But be
That's it,
safe.
safety,
Don't put yourself in that position so that we have to talk about this on this show anymore.
Right.
I'm tired of these stories. Don't put yourself in harm's way. Get in, get out, go home, and be around people who can protect you.
Right, because the gym bathroom is no place to make your point.
And I'm disappointed that this particular gym, as much as they want to do the right thing, backed down because there's no law here broken. It's just innuendo, and it's a storyline from the Republican Party.
That is a big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.